And welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show, guys. I am Mike. My man over here to my left is Marcus. Marcus, how you doing on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon?
I'm doing real good, Michael. Just chilling, getting ready. Watch this draft in a couple of days. I'm getting excited about that, man. I love draft. The NBA draft's not the NFL draft, but it's close. I love basketball, so it's close. But I
Right.
mean, an NFL draft still kills it. But I'm excited for the NBA draft.
Yeah, and I misspoke yesterday. I said I thought the draft was next week, but guys,
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's it's only 2 days away.
Yeah.
So we're only like 48 hours away, not 11
Right.
days like I was saying. So that was my fault on that. I just realized that when you started bringing that up, that the draft does start this Thursday. I believe it's at
Yeah.
8 Eastern. Is when it
Right.
does start. If you guys missed yesterday's podcast, Marcus gave us his top 10 mock draft 2.0. And if we have some time today, we'll do 10 through 20. But Marcus, first thing I want to talk to you about, like we alluded to yesterday, football season is months away. Like 35 days is when mandatory training camp starts. First preseason game is less than 55 days away. And then the first NFL game is like 78 or 80 days away. So,
Yeah. I
guys,
think it's 78.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's less than 3 months away. So as a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan myself. They are my number two team. I believe the Dallas Cowboys are your number one team. Like, am I
Yeah.
correct on that? Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Absolutely. Growing up, Cowboy fan. Absolutely. I
right,
love the Houston Texans, but Cowboy was in my blood first.
right, same here. Because like I grew up because I wanted to idolize my uncle, and he was a Cowboys fan. I'm like, well, I'm going to be a Cowboys fan too. So that's kind of how I like inherited them. But this season, um, I think we are both in agreement that we have a Super Bowl caliber team. We we,
Yes.
we should definitely win the Super Bowl. So, in
Yes.
your eyes, what is a successful season for the Cowboys? Is it winning? Is it winning? Is it winning the division, making it to the second round of the playoffs? Is it a 10-6 season in a old school? I'm going to call you the old school because you are
Mhm.
a little bit older than like I am. In a
Mhm.
old school mindset, what is defined as a successful season for the Dallas Cowboys this year?
I guess I mean they made the divisional last year, which is pretty good. They won a playoff game. Um, I NFC Championship. They haven't been in that game since I think I was 22 years old. I don't know how old you were, but yeah. So I think making it to the NFC Championship game would be a successful season. That would be a step above of what they did last year. But this year's team, I think they can bypass the NFC Championship game. Really, I do. This team's good enough to get to the Super Bowl and win it. So, I really, to me, it's Super Bowl or bust, man. I mean, I really don't. They don't really have a weakness. Now they might have some. I'm talking about the 22 starters. Now they might have some depth issues, which every team in the NFL has now. Salary cap. Everybody's got depth issues. Nobody's got these. Everybody. Nobody has got all great backups all across the board here because of the salary cap. So just in my view, my own view, I think it's Super Bowl or bust. Winning a Super Bowl or bust, to be honest. But in reality, I know I'm jumping the gun, but in reality, if they were to make the NFC Championship game, a place they haven't been since I was 22 years old, if they were to make the NFC Championship game, I think that would be you'd have to consider that a successful season because then the following year, then it would be Super Bowl or bust. Okay, but with Jason Witten on his last legs, I mean, everybody always talks about, oh, they signed Dak and we have this young team. Man, in the NFL, man, that doesn't work. I mean, that very rarely works. Tom Brady's the only one that's had a sustainable career where every year, oh, could they win it? Could they win it? And that's about as rare as you can get. Um, in the NFL, man, too many people get hurt. There's too much changing parts now. The depth is an issue. Um, no, you look at these as 1 year shots. You don't look at these as, oh, well, in 2025 well, 2023, well, that's our shot there. This isn't baseball. This isn't basketball where you've got a bunch of 22-year-olds and you could legitimately say, oh, maybe 2 years from now I think they'll win it. Man, football, man, people are flying all over the place, getting concussions, broken arms, you know, torn knees, any play. I mean, listen, people, and I'm going off on a little tangent here about this. People love to hate Dak Prescott. Why would we pay him that much? Da, da, da. And There's some truth to that. He's not this great quarterback. His stats are pretty damn impressive, though. But you want to talk about some 5-year run and some other? No, I'm not saying it's you, Michael. I'm saying everybody else 3 year, three. Listen, Dak Prescott blows out a knee game 1 against the Giants, and you're sitting there with Cooper Rush. Guess what? You're not going anywhere. So all the Dak Prescott haters and all these 4-year window people, one injury and you're done. And that's partly the fault of Jerry Jones. They didn't get a really good, reliable backup. At least get some Ryan Tannehill or something in here so we can at least keep the ship afloat. But, yeah, I mean, that would be travesty if Dak Prescott ever went down. And that guy's been real durable. He's played all 48 games, 51 games if you include the playoffs. That's really impressive. That's the opposite of Carson Wentz, actually. So, hopefully this guy will be durable. But so full round on your question, full go here. NFC Championship game would be a successful season, but I'm Super Bowl or bust, man. You got to win it this year, at least get there. Jason Witten's on his final legs. You got to throw all your hat in the ring every single year in the NFL. Nothing is promised to you in the NFL.
Right.
The NFL is hard. Okay, nothing is promised to you. This ain't basketball or baseball. Nothing is promised to you. You got to do it this year.
Yeah, you are 100% correct. As far as a successful season in my eyes, it is making it further than you did last year. And just like you said, we made it to the divisional round and we lost to the Rams. So this year, making it to the conference championship game would be deemed as a successful season in my eyes. But on the counterpart, if we made it to the divisional game and we played a competitive game versus the eventual Super Bowl champs, I would be okay with that as well, because I would rather lose to the Super Bowl champs and then lose to a team that doesn't make to the Super Bowl. But I am there with you as well. Championship game is deemed a successful season. Now, to add to your death issue there, I mean, you can talk about quarterback death on almost any team. Like if the Chiefs lose Patrick, they're pretty much screwed. If the Packers lose Aaron Rodgers, they do have an okay backup, but he's not really worth a darn. If Colts lose Andrew Luck, we've seen what happens. They are a number 1 overall team pick.
Right.
So I mean, I don't fault Jerry Jones for not having a reliable backup, because there are 5 or 6 other teams that are out there that are in the similar situation. Now let me retract what I just said. I said it is not his fault. Well, it is his fault, but it is not his fault. Just because Dak Prescott has been so reliable over the last 3 or 4 seasons for the Cowboys that there is no dire need to find that backup right now. Now, let's say Dak happens to get a banged up ankle in week 8 or week 9 or a shoulder strain. Then maybe next year in the draft, 4th, 5th, 6th round, we need to start addressing that issue. So, with all that being said, we are in championship mode here in Dallas Cowboy land. It is championship or bust. So, Marcus, I got to ask you this question. If the Cowboys do not make it to where we deem a successful season, i.e. NFC championship game or going to the Super Bowl, is it time to cut off the head of the team? Is Jason Garrett on the hot seat? Is it time to blow up the general manager or restructure the team, or do you build for next year still with the same core group that you have, including Jason Garrett on that side?
Well, look, I don't like Jason Garrett that much. I think he is actually the weakest link. It's not even the safety position. So, this guy has been. What's amazing about Jason Garrett is the players love him. They play for him hard. So that's why I'm not one of those beating the drum to fire him, because the players love him for some reason. I had Orlando Scandrick 3 years ago crying about how great Jason Garrett was, and the players follow suit. They go out there. DeMarcus Lawrence goes out there and lays it on the line for himself, obviously, and his family, but he lays it on the line for Jason Garrett. I have a feeling if Jason Garrett's on the hot seat this year and Dallas is 9-6, and if they go 9-7, let's just say they'll miss the playoffs, but if they go 10-6, they get the wild card. I will almost guarantee you that the Cowboys would destroy that team and lay everything on the line for Jason Garrett. Or if it's not a successful season and we're about to go 9-7, or it's 8-8, he gets fired, 9-7, he doesn't. I have a feeling these players will lay it on the line for Jason Garrett. So, but I don't like him as a game day coach. He's iced his own kicker. He's terrible at clock management. He cost um, Dak Prescott in his rookie season a rookie big time playoff win versus Aaron Rodgers. Many mistakes there at the end of that game. And so I don't like Jason Garrett, to be honest. He's a terrible game day coach. Mac Brown has the same problem at UT. Mac Brown's a hell of a recruiter. Can sell you anything, can sell you a $5 water. He goes into his family homes and they fall in love with the Coach Brown. He's almost like they're another father figure, a grandpa that they've never had, or a better version of their grandpa. I mean, it's weird. He gets great recruits, really good recruits. But then on game day, he's a terrible game day coach. And Texas should have won more championships and should have contended for more championships, but his mistakes didn't allow that. Jason Garrett's almost in that mold as well. Lots of mistakes, cost the Cowboys games. I can write a book about it. One day we'll do a podcast on a day when nothing's going on, and you say, hey, ask me what Jason Garrett's mistakes were, and I can ramble on for an hour. Because they're all embedded in my head because I couldn't stand it, and I still have them there. I'm a gluttony for punishment when it comes to losses of my teams. I'll remember the losses almost more than the wins. But if they don't make the playoffs with this squad, I think it's time to fire the coach. I think you got to get somebody in there that's a go-getter, that's a no nonsense, not playing around with you at all. And Jason Garrett would have to go. This team is too talented not to make the playoffs. I mean, unless they had just catastrophic injuries, and then that gives Jason Garrett a pass. God, I hope that doesn't happen. But Jason Garrett is the weakest link on this thing. And then if they don't make it, like you suggested, that's possible too. Not anything's guaranteed, especially in the NFL. The players, I think, we'll have to see how the season plays out. But I think the players will be fine. It'll be because of the coach that the Cowboys don't make it, or injury. Those are the two things that could derail the Cowboys season: is the coach and injuries.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, I don't think you blow it up. You just blow the coach up.
Right.
If they don't make it this
you
year.
are 100% right there, because the last 2 or 3 seasons, about week 5, week 6, week 7, we hear, oh, Jason Garrett's on the hot seat. Jason Garrett's on the hot seat. It is time for him to go. And then the next thing you know, the Cowboys rattle off 8 wins. Yeah. We were like 2-6, and then
3-5.
Yeah, we're going to fire Jason Garrett if he loses this week. And then they put a 40 spot on who was the Jaguars. Like, the Jaguars at the time were a really good, solid team. I mean, of course they fell off toward the end of the year, but then they beat the Saints. Like, I believe at the time the Saints were still undefeated. They on a Monday night game, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Sunday night or Monday night, Michael. Yeah.
It was a primetime game. The Cowboys showed up, and you are exactly right. Like, the players will die for this guy, but I don't understand why they can't do it like all year. Like, why does it take the the fire of Jason Garrett's on the hot seat, we're gonna fire him? He isn't good. Like, is he not giving them speeches before games until until he has to? I mean, I don't know, but if the Cowboys finish anything less than 10-6 this year, I think just Jason Garrett has to go. You have a 12 to 13 win team right here on paper. All you have to do is show up, and you can play an 80% game and probably win 9 games. Just with the talent alone that you have. And if they don't do that, Jason Garrett has to go. The offensive coordinator has to go. Defensive coordinator, just blow up the whole coaching staff. Yeah. And you know what? Reach out to Bill Cowher. I bet you he is itching to coach. Like, he hasn't coached in 10, 12 years, however long it's been. The reason why he left the Steelers was because his kids were in college, I think, and he wanted to see them play and prosper and all that stuff. They're out of college by now, I'm sure, unless they're getting PhDs. Yeah. But that would be a great fit.
Yeah, I mean, well, the new trend is now in the NFL, you got to hire this young coach,
Right.
offensive
Yeah. Yeah.
genius.
Yeah.
Everybody's been doing that
Except
now.
for the Raiders.
Yeah, well, but Gruden's bit was Gruden was considered an offensive genius, but he's been away from the game for so long, and you saw a little bit of effect of that.
Hmm.
He had a hard time last year. Hey, whatever they decide to do, they decide to do. Well, from what I'm understanding in OTAs and everything, that John Kitna and Kellen Moore are really doing a good job with Dak
That's
Prescott.
good.
And Kellen Moore, this is their job qualities here with what's going on here. Kellen Moore's changing the offense a little bit, um, making it a little more exciting, running some different things, getting into the modern era. That's what Dallas needs. Get rid of that damn jumbo package, where everybody knows you're going to run, and 10, and then the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams, line up 10 people in the box and they stuff Zeke and game's over. Let's get rid of that play, guys. So I think Kellen Moore's scrapping that play, and what John Kitna so Kellen Moore's revamping the offense, okay? What John Kitna is doing is he's breaking down film of Dak Prescott's mechanics and what platforms and what angles to throw off and how to set your feet. John Kitna learned from the great Ernie Zampese, who learned from Eric Coryell, and who learned from Ernie Zampese's son. That's where Kitna learned from. Also, Norv Turner is in that coaching tree, and Mike Martz is in that coaching tree. And Kitna learned from all those guys, and how to get the ball downfield, when to release the ball, mechanics, everything, foot motion, throwing motion. And so he's Kitna is really, really helping Dak Prescott in that. And that's what I can't wait to see. So what's great what Jerry Jones did, he's got two guys for two different things. Kellen Moore's revamping the offense, and Kitten is watching footwork and launching angles. You like that, right? We're
Love
like,
it.
yeah. So they're both doing two different things. And Kitna is revamping Dak Prescott, and is going to make him even more accurate than what he already is. Now, Dak struggles a little bit downfield, but that's where Kitna comes in. Kitna was pretty good downfield, even though Kitna didn't have the greatest of arm. The Eric Coryell offense, the Zampese, Mike Martz offense, Norv Turner, same thing. That offense is predicated. It's the opposite of the West Coast offense. That offense is predicated on getting the ball vertical down the field, and so he's really helping Dak Prescott in that regard. And I can't wait to see that come to fruition. So I'm very glad at the hires of John Kitna and Kellen Moore, and we'll see how it works out. I'm just afraid, Cooper Rush seems like he digressed a little bit last year.
Yeah.
He had some promise. And then they drafted Mike White, who, man, threw for like 5,000 yards at Western Kentucky. I think Mike White, that would be one of the intriguing things to see in mini camp and training camp. I want to see if Mike White can beat out Cooper Rush. Mike White's now in his second year in the Cowboys system, and Cooper Rush is in his third year now. But Mike White was a rookie last year. He couldn't beat out Cooper Rush. I think Mike White could beat out Cooper Rush. So that'll be something interesting to see, like in the preseason games, who plays better between Mike White and Cooper Rush. And then also Dallas is going to have to make a decision too on that, if they're going to keep two quarterbacks, and then Mike White or Cooper Rush goes to the practice squad, or if they just out and out release one of them. Because I have a feeling if Cooper Rush plays bad, they'll just get rid of him and just Mike White will be the lone backup, or vice versa. So that's one of the training camp battles. I can't wait to see Mike White versus Cooper Rush, and to see who takes hold of that second string.
Yeah, I mean, we will start to find that out. Like I said, about 35 days here as mandatory training camp starts, and if those guys don't show up, they'll be gone. So they better show up and have a really good camp. The only thing I am worried about that two system that you just named there of John Kitna and Kellen Moore is that is somebody else to place the blame on if the Cowboys don't do well, if the offense decides to stumble. So like Jason Garrett kind of has an scapegoat a little bit if something doesn't go right this season. And like that's the only thing I'm scared about, like about that two-headed coaching head that you just talked about there.
Well, I mean, we'll see. Listen, I don't. There's a lot of people that hate Jason Garrett. I don't hate him. I don't think he's a good game day coach. I want him to succeed. See, here's the difference on some people in fandom and my fandom. There are Cowboy fans out there that want Dallas to go 6-10.
No,
because then they want Garrett fired.
Right.
No, because then that'll get Garrett fired. They don't want Garrett at all. I can't root for my Cowboys on Sunday to lose. Like, whatever happens, happens. If they go 6-10, great, he's fired. But I'm not rooting for them to lose. That's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know how you can be a fan that way.
And the
Like,
only
I
way
know I
they'll
don't
go
like
6-10 is if Dak
I don't
Prescott gets hurt.
right. I don't like Jason Garrett either. But I can't root for Dak Prescott to throw interceptions to help Jason Garrett get fired. I'm rooting for my team. And right now, let me tell you something. Dallas, I haven't been able to say this in a long time. Dallas really doesn't have a weakness 1 through 22. Offensive line, Travis Frederick's coming back.
Yep.
Tyron Smith feels a little bit better with his back issues. That might be a chronic problem, but he says he's fully healthy now, and he'll be ready to rock and roll week 1 against the Giants. Their offensive line is pretty damn good.
Yes.
And the Colts might have overtaken Dallas as the best offensive line, but Dallas is still top 5, and so that's fine. Jason Witten's back. Okay, then Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, and Gallup is a beast. I'm just going to tell you that right now. He's the type of guy that if he was with Aaron Rodgers,
yep,
everybody would be saying, "Oh my God, Michael Gallup's awesome." But the fact that he's with Dak and we don't throw it as much as Aaron Rodgers does, I could see Michael Gallup actually reminds me a little bit of Greg Jennings, that number 85 in your Packer program for the 2 years ago. Yeah, he does remind me of that. Not 6'5" or anything, not 6 even 6. He's like 6'1", so he's not the 5'10" guy. But he's as fast as those 5'10" guys. He's not the 6'3" or 6'4" guy, but he goes up and gets the ball like those guys. Gallup's in that 6 feet, 6'1" range. Man, Gallup can be special. It's up to Gallup. He has all those tools, or he can be just a solid number 2 for his entire career.
Right.
So Gallup is great. Amari Cooper, his 25th birthday was the other day. Amari Cooper is, man, I'm about to throw a name out there. I mean, people might think I'm crazy. He does remind me of Jerry Rice, man. Like just his mannerisms and how he moves. And he's not the biggest, strongest, or fastest, but man, is he making plays all the time? Absolutely he is. Amari Cooper's the real deal, man.
He has what you call game time speed. I mean, like his 40 time might be 4.7 or something, but he gains 0.2 of a second when it's time to put on the pads and helmet. And
then they said he had like a case of the dropsies or whatever with the Raiders. I didn't see any of that in Dallas. No. I think he may have dropped one pass maybe, but he caught everything.
Winning cures all. Winning cures all. Winning cures all. So.
He caught everything thrown to him for the most part. He looked a hell of a lot better than Des Bryant did. Des Bryant's last couple of years, his 50-50 ball ratio went down to, he was catching 47%. Yeah. That wasn't the Des Bryant with Romo. The Des Bryant
he hit that wall so hard and fell off the cliff. Like, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, the Des Bryant with Tony Romo was amazing. The Des Bryant with Dak Prescott was, that first year was okay, but man, the last two were that last one was garbage.
Yeah.
So Amari Cooper looks the opposite of Des Bryant. I mean, that guy Amari. So look, the offense, man, their recipe is the same as usual. You hold the ball, the 60-minute ball game. If you can win time of possession, that's Dallas's goal every game. If Dallas averages like 35 minutes to 25 minutes, they'll win the NFL's time of possession, and will keep the ball away from every offense they play. 35 minutes is great. 35 to 25, and Dallas should average about 27, 28 points a game.
And our defense is solid still too. So the offense only has 20 minutes to work with a great defense on the field. I mean, give me 12 wins, man. Give me 13 wins.
The defensive line was a little bit of a weakness against the Rams. They got pushed around a little bit. And it was kind of weird to me. The Rams gained like 200-something yards, but I think they knew that, and they went ahead and addressed it. Now, they didn't go out there and get some all-caliber player. They didn't spend a lot of money there. But the players that they brought in are really going to help that. And Malik Collins is healthy now. Yeah. I don't think he was healthy that Rams game.
He looked a little off.
Yeah, Woods is number 99. Woods from Southern Cal is good, but he got pushed around a little bit. Ross, number 93, he got pushed around a little bit. But they brought in Tristan Hill from Central Florida, number 9 in your Central Florida program. That guy can dominate games. He gets in the backfield. And they brought in Christian Covington from the Texans, who's a really good football player, really good. I mean, Christian Covington, he said he finally wanted to get somewhere. Because the Texans, he was just playing the zero technique, and he was tying up with double teams. He was playing a 3-4 system. Christian Covington said he wanted to sign somewhere where he had another defensive tackle next to him, and I think that's a big deal. Now Christian Covington can go one-on-one, and so instead of taking up 2 blockers, his life was hell at Houston, and he did very well. Christian Covington and Tristan Hill are nice pieces to go on that defensive front. And if Malik Collins is healthy, Malik Collins is a hell of a player. And he may not be in that Adama Sue mold and that Aaron Donald, Warren Sapp type stuff, but he's like a notch below them, which is pretty damn good. And our defensive ends, man. Hey, Robert Quinn and DeMarcus Lawrence. Are you kidding me? I mean, they ought to get. They ought to get. There should be 20 sacks between DeMarcus Lawrence and Robert Quinn easily, and which means at least DeMarcus with 12 and Robert Quinn with 8, and that's on the low side for me. So this is, and I think they gave Robert Quinn number 58. That's kind of weird. Yeah, he's been wearing 94, I think, his whole career. But yeah, I mean the defensive ends for the Cowboys are just fine. I mean, really, and the linebacking core. Anything to say about that? I mean, the only thing that can derail the Cowboys is injuries. They have one of the best linebacking cores in football.
Yeah.
And then that back end with with Byron Jones. Sorry about that. Robert Jones is the middle linebacker from the 90s for the Cowboys. Byron Jones, a hell of a player. I like Chidobe Awuzie. I mean, that guy's a heck of a player. Xavier Woods, let's watch him come in his own. AB, Anthony Brown. Listen, Dallas is really good. I mean, they had that weakness of Jeff Heath. He made a few mistakes in the Rams game, but they signed George Iloka from the Vikings, who had a down year with the Vikings. Don't know why he went there. With the Bengals, Iloka is not a Pro Bowler, but he's solid. Yeah, I don't think he missed a start, George Iloka, with the Bengals. Look, I don't know if you ever looked that up, but he started every game with the Bengals, and he was solid. He's not a Pro Bowler, but man, he gets to the ball. He knows what he's doing. He's a smart player. So we'll see what happens. 1 through 22, Dallas doesn't have a weakness. This is their year, Michael. It better be the NFC Championship game, and I'm saying Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl or bust, like here as well as a fan, but as a realist, NFC Championship game is definitely a very good possibility. So let's go ahead and switch gears. We're switching from the gridiron to the hardwood here, over to the association. Free agency is getting into full swing here. We are seeing players starting to opt out of their deals. They don't want $30 million. They don't want $9 million, $20 million. I guess you could say one of the biggest dominoes so far that has opted out of his contract is Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, where do you think Kyrie is going to land, and where do you think a ideal spot for him would be?
Wow, I think the ideal spot would be with the Lakers, but back with LeBron and go with Anthony Davis. I mean, Kyrie Irving, I don't understand. I don't know why he wouldn't want to play with LeBron again. I mean, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he wants to get out of that shadow a little bit there and not play with LeBron anymore. He wants his own team. Well, he tried that with the Celtics. It didn't work out. Maybe he wants to try it at another place. Not sure what goes on in Kyrie's head. He's a little weird. The earth is flat, I think, with Kyrie. Yeah, it's flat. You didn't know that? I mean, I learned that from Kyrie. I mean, and I've been following it ever since. Anyways, he wants to go to. I think he wants to go to Brooklyn. I think he's building a house there or something, or they bought a house there or something. But he goes there, and yeah, they'll be a pretty good fun team, but they're not winning a title. I don't think they will. I mean, I know it's wide open. I just don't think they have the bigs. The 6'8", 6'9" bigs that switch out and guard multiple positions to win a title. I think James Allen kind of got exposed a little. I like Allen from UT. He's their center. I like him. I like Allen, but Embiid had his way with him, but Embiid's gonna have his way with anybody. But I think they need to get bigger up front and for Kyrie to have success there. And I think D'Angelo Russell, if they sign Kyrie. I think that he's going to be a cap casualty. So Kyrie and D'Angelo Russell aren't going to play together. Listen, I like that backcourt. Dinwiddie's a hell of a player for the Nets, and to go along with Kyrie and LeVert, and they just got Taurean Prince from Atlanta. They have a nice, good team. But I don't think it'll contend. It'll make the playoffs, but it won't contend. We'll see what they do in the draft. But Kyrie's got to go there. He's got to bring Durant. Now, if Kyrie brings Durant, and of course Durant's not going to play this season. But, for future, if he brings Durant there, they can get Durant into the Eastern Conference, and in 2 years, they could make some noise. But the best fit for Kyrie would be to go if he wants to win a title. Okay. Now if he wants to just go play basketball and have fun, go to the Nets. Go play in front of Beyonce and Jay-Z. Fine. Hey, get your 30 points per game and your Uncle Drew stuff going on there, and then bounce out of the first round like you did last year. I mean, or like you did like the Nets did this year. That's what you want to do. Cool. Okay, but if you want to actually win a title right now, I'd go to the Lakers. And if the and then the Lakers would probably win the title. Right now, I don't think the Lakers can win the title. Just with Davis and LeBron, and then like just and Lonzo Ball, which is not Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma. That's a pretty good three nucleus, but they got to fill the roster out with some good players too. You can't just win with 3 stars and everybody else in the D League. I mean, I know I've said that before. You could put this guy and then have us at center.
Right.
Really, that doesn't work. I'm just kind of like, it's kind of a hyperbole there. But if Kyrie goes to the Lakers, they could win it. The problem is LeBron's getting older. Does Kyrie and Anthony Davis, do they want to coexist? I guess if I was Kyrie, I'd call Anthony Davis right now. What's the first question I'd ask him? Are you going to sign long-term there? Because right now, Anthony Davis is on a 1-year deal.
He did say he was going to sign long-term after the 2020 season.
Okay, and so if he's going to do that,
do you take him at his word, or what do you do there?
If I was Kyrie, I would call him.
Yeah.
And of course, then I would take him at his word. But the Lakers could be in a situation where if Anthony Davis doesn't, the Lakers are in a weird precarious situation here because if Anthony Davis gets there and goes, I don't like this, I don't like the management. I mean, I know I kind of wanted to be here. Now I'm a regret. LeBron's going to be 36 and like we don't have any players, and it's going to be like New Orleans but West. Then he could be then he could be out of there. Because LeBron's getting older. Now, if this was 30-year-old LeBron, completely different story. Anthony Davis would sign a long-term deal. But this is not 30-year-old LeBron. This is 35-year-old LeBron, born in 1984. So the Lakers could be in a weird situation. But Kyrie's best fit, if they want to win a championship this year, this is everybody's chance right here to win a title. Everybody's got a shot here almost, depending upon the moves they make.
Yeah.
But
and just to add to your point there, names that have been throwing around going to LA. Kemba Walker, like you said, actually, I've heard that from several other people. 80s obviously going to LA. Kyrie's name's getting thrown on there, but I want to say Kawhi's name's getting thrown around the LA mix as well. So if you want to win a championship right now, you need to go to LA. You have to go to LA right now. Now let me talk to the Knicks, the Nets. You guys, let's have a conversation right here. You guys do not want Kyrie Irving on your team. You want to build your team like the Atlanta Hawks are doing right now through the draft and make great draft picks. Don't be like the Philadelphia Sixers and like tank and like trust the process and like all that crap. Build a good team, a good solid roster through the draft like the Atlanta Hawks have the last few seasons. Don't worry about winning right now. Build your draft. Send Kyrie out to LA. They can win 2, 3, 4 championships while you establish your core team. And then once they're done winning their championship, it is your time to shine. So Kyrie Irving needs to go to LA, win a couple rings, bring the glory GOAT thing back to LA. What's it called? Tinseltown or whatever they refer that to.
Showtime.
It's just anybody but Golden State. I mean, go to LA. That's where you belong.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the best fit for Kyrie would be with the Lakers. Also, if I'm LeBron, I'd want Kyrie, but I'd be calling if I got a bad feeler off of Kyrie, like Kyrie's like, I'm getting the vibe, but he doesn't want to join me.
Right.
I'd call Jimmy Butler.
There you go. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be big up.
Because LeBron James would love Jimmy Butler's defense and tenacity. Jimmy Butler's all about winning, gets in people's faces. Yeah.
Kawhi too. Absolutely. I mean, that would be a great the Kawhi would be a great pickup.
Kawhi would be a great fit. I just think Kawhi's going to the Clippers.
Yeah, you are right, and I agree with you there. But like, think about this team. This is a team that like you could have three guys, LeBron, Kawhi, and AD, and then just a couple fillers there. That
Yeah,
that would be a good team that you could.
I
Just
talked to a lot of dumb Laker fans last year, and that's straight
dumb.
dumb, like stuck on stupid. They didn't want Kawhi Leonard for the trade. Like they didn't want Kawhi Leonard to team up with LeBron James.
That's
like
dumb.
they said, oh, it wouldn't be a good fit. I said, y'all are dumbasses or what? Kawhi Leonard could almost beat Golden State, with a bunch of regular players.
Right.
LeBron almost beat Golden State with a bunch of regular players. You remember that?
I remember.
I mean, think about that for a second. And if you combine the two players, right? Think about this. Just intellectually, just combine the two players that almost beat Golden State single-handedly. Golden, you know what? I told them. I said Golden State would not want that. They're loving that you don't like that. Golden State, if they were to ever play, like if they were to ever to see LeBron and Kawhi walk on the court at the same time in the same uniform against the Warriors would be for the first time in a long time. The Warriors would feel not confident. They would feel like, oh man, I don't know how we're going to get this done. And the Warriors are they exude confidence. But you combine LeBron and Kawhi Leonard, Durant could come back, Klay Thompson could come back, his dad could come back and play center. They wouldn't beat Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James together.
Yeah, you're 100% right here. But Kawhi or Kai, too many K's floating around, man. Irving, you are going to LA. Stop trying to play this game like you don't know where you're going. You're going to end up there. But let's just go ahead and end the show there. If you guys are not following us on our Facebook page, go ahead and follow us on the Facebook page, and Marcus will post his 10 through 20 mock draft on there. And then tomorrow, there's tension rising in Houston, guys.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, James Harden, are they done? Are the Rockets exploding? Has the fuse been lit? Find out tomorrow on Marcus' thoughts on the
and then we'll get into it. And then the NBA draft is coming up. We'll talk a little more draft tomorrow.
Yeah. So any closing thoughts before we head out?
No, that's pretty good. I wanted to talk a little Chris Paul, a little James Harden, but we
will tomorrow, 100%.
We'll get that tomorrow. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Catch us tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good day.